Welcome back to our deep dive into the newest installment of the Anne Rice Immortal Universe, Talamasca, The Secret Order. In this video, we break down and review the first 4 episodes from the introduction of Guy Anatole and his induction into the secretive Talamasca to the growing tension with Jasper. We discuss all the major plot points, including the mystery of the 752 codex and its role in the supernatural war, the shocking truth about the London Mother House and the Revenants, whether the show successfully expands the Talamasca lore, and if it keeps up the pacing. Our theories on the powerful third party behind the murders of Keves and Archie. Is Talamasca the Secret Order the next big hit for the Immortal Universe? Watch our full review and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. So normally what we do is we talk about the titles, but there are 4 titles and we can't do that. So let's just start with our thoughts on Talamasca before we do our deep dive. I want to hear from Corey first. What you got, Corey?
So, I went into the show and I was just thinking, this is going to be great. They've learned from the lessons of Mayfair and they know what we want. And they're going to give it to us with Talamasca. Unfortunately, I think that they got confused in the writing room and when people were talking about the show. It was not what I expected. I don't understand. What is the problem? When you interview with the vampire it is the blueprint, right? It's the blueprint. We want sex. We want the supernatural. We want that gothic feel, that Southern gothic feel that Anne Rice is known for. And it doesn't matter the locale, because you can have that Southern gothic feel and it not be in New Orleans, right? We saw that with Interview in the different locales that they base the show in. From the very beginning, we get this old ass woman that that have all these secrets about her life, who she is, and what she does. And the ruse that the Talamasca has been playing, the games they've been playing with the young man's life, to get him to sign up for a job that they don't know nothing about. He had money in hand at a law firm. He had it set. And he ain't come from no money. He had no money. He was broke his whole life. So they gonna get their ass in front of that to offer him nothing but some bullshit. That don't make no sense. I don't understand.
I'm sure. Thank you for joining us.
I don't understand.
Yeah, your thoughts. Your thoughts. Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. So Talamasca, the Secret Order. I'll tell you it's not a secret how I feel about Talamasca. I feel like it's horrible. I stated it before off camera. I'm gonna say it again on camera, on live. Anne Rice is turning in her mausoleum. This is an absolute disgrace. While it is not quite at the Mayfair rating for me, and that's as low as the bar can go. I have to agree with Corey, because Corey didn't ate him up from Genesis to Revelation, and it was the sex appeal is not there. The acting is significantly better to some degree than Mayfair, but it's the delivery is just still not there. The storyline, it's okay, but it's just like I have gotten more of a rise, double entendre, out of a Hallmark film than I'm getting from Talamasca right now. Ooh, and honestly, it's expensive to Hallmark, quite honestly. And so our leading man, Guy, our protagonist, I want to root for him, but I get disgusted. I would rather watch Frodo Baggins than watch Guy. And let's get into the names of these people. Helen, Guy, even the names are stupid. Like, I wanted to root for this show. We know that this whole Mayfair to 10 has come from Ilya because of Mayfair just really disappointing me. I wanted to come into this and be wrong. I was concerned after the first episode. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching. You know, I'm gonna approach each episode with a fair lens. And while at the middle / end of episode 3 into episode 4 got better, we're 4 episodes in, and I'm still like, could have had a V8. That's the problem. I don't like vegetables, let alone vegetable juice. So if I would have rather have a V8 than watch this show, that is problematic.
Okay. All right. First, thank you very much, Books, Girls, and Purrs, for joining us yet again. These rides home, Books, Girls, and Purrs. Lord Jesus, are you in LA? Let us know. Anyway, all right, so let's get straight into it. All right, so how well does Talamasca, the Secret Order, succeed as a spy supernatural show compared to other shows that we are used to? Let's start with Corey first.
So that I think that's where it really kind of starts to fail for the show. It's not so much that we understand that it's in the world of the supernatural, but the spy part of the series, it's lacking in terms of any type of gravitas. Like, also, why haven't we seen any other agents, right? Or the inner mechanisms of the order itself. I just, there is just missing so much lore from the group themselves, to the point where you don't really care about the spy stuff, because you're really trying to figure out, the curiosity is already there with the Talamasca, right? Because there's a secret order, right? In the books, Lestat and others often, and in some of the movies that they've often teased the Talamasca members and called them librarians that were constantly watching but never participating in the action. That was how they were referred to in books and in other media. They have this kind of, there's a thing about them, right? And we're missing that. Like, it's just
blah.
It's just, okay. I get it. Their book got stolen. They want it back from the evil supernatural creatures.
So Corey, Yuri says you suck.
I do.
So blood or
It's so loaded. It's so loaded.
Okay. So Elia, let me ask you this question. Just kind
but
of
Yuri, do you disagree with our assessment so far?
Clearly. So Elia, how does this show effectively expand the Anne Rice universe?
So here's the thing. I think in theory, the expansion is great, since the Talamasca was not a standalone book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, great idea. Awesome. Execution in the negative, in the absolute negative. If this is the first of its kind for what they are delivering, I am not pleased with it. I am not. I should be on the edge of my seat, neglecting my 7 kids, not doing anything that I need to do, because I'm so invested in Talamasca. That is the delivery that I need. When it comes to Interview with Vampire, okay, please don't talk to me. Do not disturb. I'm unavailable. I'm so busy watching Interview with the Vampire. Okay, Mama, it can wait.
So, Corey, let me ask. That was a nice segue into my next question. How does this show compare to Interview with a Vampire and even Mayfair?
It's it's really in the middle to me. It's better than Mayfair, but I think it's better than Mayfair only because the suckage of Mayfair was so bad that you really can't go any far down than Mayfair, right? We use it as our bottom tier, whatever we're rating, no matter what, right? For a reason. So that's the reason why it's in the middle. But does it reach the heights of the grandeur of Interview? No. And there's probably many reasons. One, the lack of sex appeal, which we've already kind of stated, right? The history of the vampire lore and everything all about it is just not there. And for a series that's connected to this world, which is supposed to be filled with scary witches, sexy vampires, crazy, people with all these machinations about how they want to do different things, but most of them are really involved and connected with interpersonal relationships, who they fucking, who they love, who they don't like, things like that. That's really at the heart of most of the books, to be honest with you. And their desire to, to be, right? But for a show that's connected to a world that has such rich history, it does not give that same sense of richness, right? It doesn't seem like this story is from the world of Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. And I think that's the main problem that I have, where it's not as bad as Mayfair, even with the New Orleans setting. It's still better than Mayfair, but it's still so far disconnected from the other pieces of the story, which it kind of makes it kind of hard to believe that these individuals are such a threat to, or even such a even a worry to any vampires, any other supernatural creatures, because they've exhibited no sort of anything in this series.
Elliot, how does it compare?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
How does this show compare to Interview with a Vampire and Mayfair?
The laughing is intentional. So I would not even put it in the same realm with Interview with the Vampire. Let's be very clear. Would not. Because I have had more enjoyment from the Goosebumps episodes from Nickelodeon than I'm getting out of
or the Hulu series, which is actually pretty good.
Right. That's my point. That's more enjoyable. And so I don't even want to mention it as if it's in the same realm with Interview. Now with Mayfair, I do agree with Corey. I do think it's a little bit better than Mayfair, not by much, simply because when you got to, this is the first season of Talamasca, right? And the first season of Mayfair, we were so let down like pallbearers in season 1 with Mayfair. And when they came back with season 2, we got some highs and some lows, right? Like Julian's Victrola. There was some pieces in there that were amazing with Mayfair, but because they had let us down for so long, by the end of it, it was just like 2 seasons in, whatever. And so how it compares, again, just not even in the same book, let alone the same page for me when it comes to Interview.
So let me ask this question. So the central storyline or mystery is the hunt for the 752 codex. How compelling of a storyline or narrative is that?
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
Well, but here's the thing. I think they would have done better by explaining first a little bit more in detail about the 752. The 752 only came up within like episodes. It was mentioned briefly in the second episode. It was a big mystery what they were looking for and what was happening, why they needed Guy. It really wasn't really introduced until the third episode and going into the fourth episode what this book really could potentially be about. The other thing that I have a really big issue with is the fact that this is the second time that we've seen the Talamasca in this world, and the instances that we've seen them are vastly different. When you look at Sip from Mayfair, if the show centered around Sip and his experiences and had a little bit more gravitas that he provided, I think I would enjoy it a lot better because he's more enjoyable character. He's also better to look at, et cetera, right? The Talamasca that the two instances provide in this universe do not have. And I don't know if that was intentional because it was different branches or if it was a miscue, and I can't really tell.
So let me ask this, and the reason I'm going back and forth is because I don't want this to be very, very long. What storylines do you think need to be cut?
Ooh, okay. Helen, her lost twin sister, all that drama. Okay, look. What is happening? I'm pretty sure they're gonna tie it in the bow by the time we get to episode 8. But okay, if we're talking about the Talamasca world, the universe, and intro, you're coming in, you're trying to be a heavy hitter. This woman is like 97 years old, and we're worried about why she wanted to infiltrate the Talamasca to find a long lost twin sister. I feel like, to me, that storyline is a little sloppy. I don't love it. Also creating these I can't say creating these vampires from Jasper, these zombie, like what's going on there? I'm trying to figure that piece out. Like, why are they coming out that way? I'm a little confused. I don't
These
know.
revenants.
Yeah, I don't know that
Mm.
I love that piece. What
Corey?
else? The handler. She's actually attractive. She's very attractive.
Oh yeah. The black
But
chick. Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah. You know what? Well, I do want to say this, or ask this rather, Guy, as a leading man, is he, number one, is he important? Number two, is he compelling?
He has such anger or indifference about the whole world. And I guess I get why, because you're not being told anything, and you've basically been hoodwinked and captured and forced to be a part of this group, and you have no reason why. So I guess that in and of itself makes him intriguing, but he's not a Louis, he's not a Lestat, right? And I think for this show, we needed a Talamasca person that had that same weight. Right, someone that would make us want to be like, oh, God,
and started from the vantage point of Sip. If they took him, integrated him into this show, and went from there, okay, I would probably be less annoyed. Less. Still annoyed, less. But with Guy, it's just like I'm not. The storyline is okay. I'm okay with that. But the delivery is just poor. I'm just not feeling it.
Ian Perez says hi. Thank you. Ian also says that they love our video. Thank you very much. All right. So let's move. Okay. So I was saving this. Look, y'all, he's a vampire, Jasper. People have fallen in love with Jasper. I don't see it. I remember him from As the World Turns, and back then, your boy was sexy. But now he got all these wrinkles. He a vampire. Why he got all these wrinkles? This is my. What are your thoughts on Jasper's backstory?
Like, I kind of feel like there's something that's missing. And none of it is really explained. Why does he look so disheveled and just so? I don't understand. I really don't understand. And also with the acting choices that he's making, it puts me in mind of they wanted someone to be like Christopher Walken, but they couldn't afford him, and so they gave Jasper the note to. They gave Jasper the note to, this is how we want you to act. And that's what he's running with. But it's weird because it doesn't seem to fit his type of character. I think they would have done better if they would have chosen someone to be the antagonist that did have a little bit more appeal, so to speak. I think that's one of the main issues that we have with the show, to be honest with you. If the characters were sexy, then that probably would have kind of held it off a little bit. We wouldn't be so.
Now, I see things that aren't always there. But in that last episode, just for a second, I thought, does Jasper like Guy? Did y'all see that? Did y'all like?
I kind of get that hint. I kind of feel that way.
The vampire can swing either way. So that's
but I mean, okay, all right.
I feel that way. I kind of feel like he like that. That's part of the whole reason why he's kind of keeping him there too. That he wants him there. Like, it's another type of the situation with Daniel, right? Similar situation where he's wanting to keep his target of interest close by so that he can probe and find all about him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? And it's a mismatch.
Okay. So, do you feel that those two characters have chemistry, the right kind of chemistry?
I think they have a chemistry. I'm curious to see where it's going to go, and am I going to want to see what happens with the chemistry? Right?
Oh yes, baby.
Lackluster.
Lackluster. All right. Do you trust Helen's motives regarding Guy?
Hell no.
Absolutely not. No.
That's why he don't trust her.
Why? Tell us why.
I think she started with lies, you know.
Okay.
But even when she was supposed
Okay.
to start to tell the
Okay.
truth or to win him,
Yeah.
she continued with lies.
She's 116 years old. Her motives
I think she's not telling them everything. You know, I kind of. Hell yeah.
You were buffering. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What were you saying?
No, I was just saying Helen is 116 years old. And of course, I don't trust her motives. You know, she's out for herself and trying to figure out whatever is going on with her long lost twin sister and how the Talamasca basically screwed over them. And so, in essence, she's kind of a double agent. So, no, I don't trust Helen. Soledad Marcel is gone. Nobody's been dealing with that for real. So, no, I don't trust Helen. She ain't even give the girl a chance to have a funeral before she didn't already put Guy in the situation, and he's not ready for anything. Not at
He don't know
all.
nothing. He can't even use his powers. He taking a pill so he could handle his powers. He's
Right.
not
You
ready
done
for this.
discovered in 2 seconds several times since you've been in London. You might as well go back and take that lawyer job.
My thoughts exactly.
Because this is on the long list of things you are no good at. Being a secret agent is right at the top of the list.
So, okay, now that you say that, this is another part that kind of helps create and continue the inconsistencies of the story. They skipped all over any sort of training or any type. That was a perfect opportunity to embed us in the world of the Talamasca. Showing his training, giving us backstory of the people that he's working with, why he's learning to control his powers, how he's learning to control his powers. You know, that was the type of stuff that we needed to embed us in this world. And they just did a couple scenes here and there of him reading, him having access to technology, stuff like that. Why not say, oh, the Talamasca has a recorded, you know, this, blah, 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 blah. Here's how you access it, and showing all the different types of lore that they could potentially interact with as a part of the show. You know, I mean, it's just, there's so many things that they could have done, and I just wonder why some of the decisions were made, because all that type of stuff is necessary in a show like this, because it all brings you into the world.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you recall, because I don't know how memorable it was, but Jasper was the second vampire that we saw in Talamasca. Mm-hmm. All right. So the first one that we saw, who was really supposed to be trying to train Guy.
Yeah.
How was his performance?
He's the most interesting vampire of the entire show, and we haven't seen him since episode 1.
Right. And the fact that I really had to think about it is like, oh, the one that kind of humbled him a bit. Like, you think you can read minds? I can slow down time. I can kind of alter your reality. I would have liked to see a bit more of him.
Like, why show him in the first episode and give him? And Helen acted as if this was her boy. This was he. You know, you had to impress him before you impress me, and we ain't seen him since. He can't be too much your boy.
God, this ain't what you want. You don't want to do this. You don't. You do not want to do this. Run. Not
so
ready to appropriately train you. Just run.
So Books, Girls, and Purse says that she's guessing this show is going to connect to Queen of the Damned, and maybe that's why the book thereafter is important. Inserting SIP is a great idea. She's agreeing with Elia. What are your thoughts on that?
Books, Girls, and Purse. I really, really hope they don't defile the book Queen of the Damned. I don't know what in the damn hell they doing. Let's just be clear. I don't want to be crass, but I just don't have great things to say. I don't.
So initially when I read back in season 1 and I saw that they were going to create a shared Anne Rice universe, I was so excited. You know, one of my favorite stories, right? I was so impressed with Interview, and I just naturally assumed that all the showrunners, they will be working on the successive projects. That's not necessarily the case, and I think that's the problem that we're seeing within the other shows that are coming out. All the same people are not involved in creating the shared universe. So like with Marvel, with Endgame and all the other the some of the same people are involved in some of those continuing stories. So that it's not such a different tone than the preceding movies, etc. Where you've seen that fail in Marvel and DC and other projects is when you try to bring on different directors with different visions, different styles into the mix, and they all don't carry the same flavor. If Interview's formula worked, and it is the formula by which you want everything to go by, why not still continue in that same formula? The look, the style, the choices of characters and the sex appeal, the etc., all that stuff. That's what people want to see if it's connected to Anne Rice.
Speaking of having the same flavor, Raglan James, his character changes just a little bit in this iteration of his character in Talamasca. Oh, yeah. What are your thoughts on what we saw from Raglan James? Do you remember him?
Raglan James, so that's the secret agent or Talamasca. I don't. Oh, wait. Okay, so he kind of popped up in interview here and there.
Yeah, he was talking to Daniel.
Yeah,
he still has that kind of same cheeky vibe. I feel like it's fairly consistent with him. But him going into the consistent with the acting, let me say that to be clear. But with him having this whole motive of collecting the blood and for personal gain, that was a complete 180. But as far as his acting, his delivery, I think his acting was fairly amazing. I didn't mind him. He was one of the ones to where, like, okay, just simply looking at the actor, doing what the actor needs to do was fine. But with him as a character, complete 180. Like, you wouldn't expect that from him, or at least from not from what I saw in the previous show.
So I don't I remember him in the books. I can't quite remember if he is a merged character that they're showing, if he was actually someone else in the books. And I want, like, you remember the books a little bit better than me. What was his character in the original book series? Who's his character in the original book series?
He's the merged character.
It's him and
there's no one, at least from my memory, there's no one by the name of Raglan James.
I didn't think so. I think originally his character is the one that's supposed to be a vampire, if I'm correct, right? Because there is a Talamascan agent that does get turned in. I think he was the one that should okay. I don't know if that's going to happen. So it'll make it interesting if it does.
Oh, so Books, Girls, and Purrs says that he's in Tale of the Body Thief. I don't remember. I remember reading that, but I don't remember his character. Clearly, I believe you, but I don't remember his character. Talamasca, is it a moral, not amoral, but is it a moral organization?
No.
Why do you say
Moral?
No. I mean, because just look at how they got Guy, right? And all the strings that they've pushed and levers that they've pulled in order to get him to the point where they can come in and use him, and to where he could be a benefit to them as an organization. But I guess within a secret society that has existed for hundreds of years, tasked with keeping tabs on supernatural creatures, I don't know if I would expect it to be a moral organization, to be honest with you.
So Books, Girls, and Purrs says he's the antagonist of the fourth book. Lord Jesus. There you go. I must be getting dementia. All right.
So many books and the stories start to kind of the stories kind of.
So what do you think will be the consequences of Guy's choice to forge his own path, especially since he lied to Jasper?
I think there will be grave consequences because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a novice. He's all over the place. So at least with Helen, you know, she's been around since a child. And so I think she is able to kind of navigate things a bit better. I think he's having a series of reactions and he's ill-equipped to deal with all the things that are impending. And so I think I don't know if they'll kill him off. I wouldn't be upset if they did. Honestly, it's not that memorable for me. You know, I just think he is in over his head. Let me say it that way. And he really just needs to step aside. So, like, I get that, you know, the Talamasca, and really it was a rogue project, to be honest, because whatever they're doing was off book. So there was a whole breakdown in the organization itself when it comes to Helen, because, or unless I got it wrong, please correct me. From my understanding, this was her pet project with Guy. So that's a breakdown in and of itself. So with him, you don't have any real protection. You don't. So I just don't see him going very far.
So I think that we could potentially grow into Guy a little bit more than what we felt with what's her name in Mayfair. I can't think of her name right now.
He had a cast-ass power. At least they didn't execute it well, but at least with Ro, she has some badass powers. His power is more passive. Even Phoebe from Charmed, you know, her stuff developed. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna cut you off, Corey, but I'm annoyed. I am annoyed, and I don't know how to hide it. But let me be quiet. I'm sorry. Finish.
No, you're fine. So, because what I was just going to say is that, you know, I think one of the issues too is the fact that the Talamasca does not have their own book. There is no real guide to how they should be written or portrayed. So that leaves a lot of interpretation. And because it's such an interesting part of the Anne Rice world, but she talked about it, but there wasn't a single book that focused specifically just on the order. And I think that's where some of the issue is right. There's lore, but there's not a whole bunch of lore to where you have specific concrete pieces of things that need to be told in order to create a story. I think that they could fix this by just maybe tying the story to, or which they should have done, tied the story to the already established shared universe that they've already created, which is why, you know, we suggested that they should have tied the story to Sip or someone connected to Sip. That way, why hasn't Sip even shown up in the story at all? Because from what we've seen, he's really the only character that we've met from the Talamasca other than Raglan that we've connected with. So, you know,
and now sprinkle Daniel in there, which I wasn't upset by. I was happy.
I wasn't upset by
Daniel. I was not upset about it.
So Books, Girls, and Purse says, I think they're establishing Raglan early, so it makes sense that he pops up later. All right. So let's move. How does the show handle the darker side of vampires, specifically the blood ritual and the revenants in the London Mother House? Let's go to Elliot.
It was a little weird, but not in a bad way. I didn't hate it. I guess it's just not what I'm used to seeing. But I do like the fact that they did keep the consistency of vampire blood being able to heal. I did appreciate that part. And so you see them being able to kind of weaponize the humans and use them for their personal gain because they're at the mercy of them because of the vampire blood. Gave me a little bit of True Blood there, honestly. So I did not hate that part of it.
Okay. Corey, who do you believe is the powerful third party that was hinted at being behind the murders of Keves and Archie?
I have no idea. The only thing that I could say is maybe I would love for it to be somebody from Interview. I love to hate on Armand. I love it to be Armand. But
You're already on a shit list.
I would love for it to be Armand. How great would that be if it was one of those characters? Or even a character.
Right now, I'm not convinced that it's. I still think it's Jasper. Fuck it, fuck him. I think it's Jasper. Until I see some evidence otherwise, it's Jasper and he's just playing a game. That's what I think.
And what if it's a vampire that we first met? What if it's him?
Oh boy.
Maybe that's the reason why we haven't seen him. Maybe it's going to be the ultimate, kind of aha moment when they do discover that it's him, and that his whole sole purpose was why he became so close to them is to get that. That's possible. But I would love for it to be someone, either him or some sort of surprise or some character that connects us to something in the overarching universe. I think that's desperately needed with this show.
Yeah, so we can move it from vanilla to chocolate, because this is not it. I can't.
I need more heat. That's ultimately what I need. I need more heat, whether it's either from the characters that they're showcasing or just in the story itself. I need more.
Little Neapolitan.
I need a little more. I need a little something.
The vanilla.
I need a little more ginger in my snap than I'm getting. I need a little more ginger in my snap.
It's not snapping.
Yeah.
It's not snapping.
Hell yeah. What do you predict will be the ultimate use of the 752 codex, and who will end up with it by the end of the season?
Why the number 752? I don't know. I have so many questions. I like the idea of like kind of what happened in history in the continent of Africa with burning things and trying to get rid of history and all of that. So I didn't hate that part, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to sustain my interest. Ultimately, I kind of hope that the vampires end up with it. I do. I really, really do. That is what I'm rooting for. Maybe it'll spice it up a little bit. As Corey says, we need some spice because it's very bland. That would make for a great segue into trying to sustain this show for a second season. Because right now, I love vanilla ice cream, but I don't love a vanilla ass show.
But so here's the thing though. If they extended Mayfair and they're going to get a third season. They're going to get a third season. I think we're going to get at least 2 to 3 seasons with this show because they really want to. And other people like it. I think we're just the haters. So you're saying that we suck. Okay. Obviously people like it because people are watching it. They're not complaining about certain aspects of it, but I think the nature of the history of who wrote the books and stuff is why it's so popular. An Interview is fantastic. So Interview is dragging this whole shared universe, right? It's the thing that's propping up this whole shared universe. I really need the show to bump it up a little bit, right? Bump it up a little bit.
Slow burn. It's a very, very slow burn. Like I can put it on. I'll take a nap, wake up, try again. Like it's just not like, oh my God, let me stay up so I can watch. No.
So the other thing too is that shows that are based in the supernatural, we need to feel the supernatural. Like, we need to feel it. We need to sense it. Again, they're doing a better job of it than Mayfair, right? But it's still missing that thing.
Better than Mayfair season 1.
For Mayfair season 1, not to where they ended because they ended with the crazy, but
Listen, when Guy was having sex with the girl, I was like, "Oh, we about to get sexy now," and then
it was nothing.
No,
oh Jesus!
even when
This needs to be smut. I need to be thinking about this when I'm driving home from work. You know what I'm saying? I need, but there was nothing. There was nothing. Give me something.
It was nothing.
Give me a little tingling.
Yeah, hinted at a three-way and let me down. It's like, come on, don't tease me now. But
I think they have no choice but to do that with how interview was, right? And Mayfair, it was a completely different story, but even they talked about incest and other stuff in Mayfair, but
speechless. Mayfair to 10. Hell yeah. What you give it?
A 3.
Dang.
It's a 3 for me. It is a 3. And I've literally, I don't know how else to say it. The lack of sex appeal, the lack of cohesiveness across the universe, the acting in general, it's just the witchery. Okay, not Mayfair, but 3. It's a 3 for me from where I'm at across these 4 episodes.
Corey?
I'm not gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 5 because I just think that there's potential there. And I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna wait to see how it ends, right? Before I can really write this show off or not. Because even if I write it off, I'm still gonna watch it out of the morbid curiosity that I have. I'm gonna see it because it's an Anne Rice story. I love Anne Rice. I love her mythos, all that. So I'm gonna watch it, right? And I think there's a whole bunch of people that's in the same boat. So, but I'm gonna give it a 5. Just because I could see potentially where this may connect with a shared universe and or the introduction of other characters that we already love that could probably really bump this story up. We'll see.
So still failing.
So for me,
yeah, 50 is AF.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to give it a 4. There were 4 episodes, and so I'm going to give it a 4. 1 for each episode. Now, that is not to say
are
that
you gonna give half points
for
the rest of the episodes if you don't like them? And quarter points.
I'm giving it a 4 because let's face it. I think it was Elia who said it. Word not, or maybe it was Corey. Word not Anne Rice. I would not continue to watch this. I would not. Mm-hmm. I would not get up early on Sundays to watch it. Would not happen. After episode 1, I would have been like, "What show is that? What? I don't even remember. I wouldn't have set my what is? I have YouTube TV. I wouldn't set it to record. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm giving it a 4. I need them to bump it up. I need old girl, the black chick. I need her role to be expanded because whatever it is she got going on, I want it. I want to see it. I want to live it. I would not mind if Guy died. And I wouldn't mind if she became, she's a handler right now. Okay, start handling business. Okay, that's what I want. Okay.
What I really would love? I would love for the Guy character to be kicking ass and taking names. That's what I really want, right? I don't want this. Oh, I don't want to be
waste his time complaining all the time.
Right?
Stop complaining and do some shit.
You in it now? You got all these gifts. You in it now? Do something, right?
I want to see more from these witch characters too. Okay, where is this going? We're seeing the visual after the girl was killed, the girl that hid in the trunk, all those pieces. I want to see where this is going to go with the witches. Are we going to use them a little bit more? Because right now, again, it's still a strong 3 for me.
It's like, why? It's like, you're right.
Why did you even do this show? That's what it's like. Right now. Why did you do it?
They're showing us all of these different pieces, but start connecting them. right? Start connecting these dots to have us wait. Okay, so you give us 2 episodes, episode 1 and episode 2 at the same time. So that in and of itself is telling me this is not going to be a good show. This is not going to be a good show because you're giving me two episodes at once, and I don't know what you're giving me to start off with. So I'm going to discount this show to start off with. All right. So after episode 2, I'm still on the fence. I already told y'all how I felt, right?
Mm-hmm.
After episode 4, nah, you ain't you came with it just a little bit. You sprinkled some tahine. You made a little flavorful, you know.
But at this point, we already 4 episodes in. We're going into the 5th episode. We need to start to rolling down a roller coaster at this point.
Yeah. No, going up and about and screaming and shit because you're excited.
I'm screaming for a whole other reason.
It's too slow of a burn. You know, I mean, some of the elements of a good story are there, but it's just too slow.
And that's why it's a 3 for me. Well, one of the reasons why it's 3. It's just not.
Yeah. So, you know, there's so much more that we could say, but I mean, I think you get the theme of it all. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.
More of those.
Have a good one.